Hi, this is TD here with a review of Ascension deck building game, Year 1 Collector's Edition. In this review, we'll be talking about three things. The first of which is how this edition compares with the original copy. In doing so, we'll talk about the second thing, which is my personal opinions of the components within the Collector's Edition, and then we'll quickly wrap up with just my feelings overall of Ascension. If you're looking for a gameplay overview, I will link a very good 3-minute long video that another BGG user has provided explaining how to play this game. So let's dive right into it. The Collector's Edition, first and foremost, comes with a tin. Now, tins are love it or hate it affairs, but one thing to take solace in is that this tin is almost the exact same size as this board box, and even though the box is very thick and could hold up well over time, the tin will definitely hold up even better over time. Another thing to note is that the board itself has pretty drastically changed. So in this Collector's Edition board, you get a black on black embossed style board with silver accents. Those accents lead to sort of a very minimalistic, elegant design that I personally like a lot. Now, I thought I liked the original board more because it's a bit more colorful, you can see the art a bit better, the Ascension logo is more profound, and there is a turn play order. But the more that I play Ascension, the more I realize, you know what, this is a really simple game. You don't necessarily need a turn order, and I like that elegant design. So much like the tin and the box, I think it's going to be personal preference which one you like more, but for me, they're both phenomenal, and I like them all. Another main selling point about the Collector's Edition is that each of these new cards, and you notice I've got some old and some of the new cards, have all foil art. Now, foil, again, is a love it or hate it affair. I personally think the foil job is done very well in this game, and the only disadvantage of having foil is on rare occasions you might find that the glare is obstructing your view of the text at the bottom of the card. So you kind of like lean left, lean right, look up, look down to get rid of that glare in order to read what the text is. But other than that, the foil cards look exceptional. Now, speaking of the cards themselves, the original game people harped on pretty heavily because they thought it had bad art. Now, I personally didn't share that opinion. I just thought it had interesting, unique art. I don't have necessarily a keen eye for these things, but the art style in the new cards has changed pretty radically in most cases, and in my opinion, it's for the better. So down here, I've got a lot of examples here of the original Militia, which is one of your starting cards. So here's the original art, along with the new art for the Militia, and as you can tell, it's a pretty radical departure. Here I've got the Apprentice, which was in the original game, and then I have the new Apprentice here. So what you'll notice is three main things. The first is that it's more detailed, it's a cleaner image, and then you'll also notice that the layout of the card itself is easier to read, which I much prefer. So here are some more quick examples. Here I've got the Corrosive Widow. That's fairly similar. You've got the Earth Tyrant here. I like both. The top might be a little better. Then there are some that I think are a lot better, like the Wolf Shaman here. I think he's considerably better in the new edition. Ozaya, even though they look similar, the new edition is much preferred. And on some rare occasions, you'll find that even though the art of this Shadow Star is better, I like the old Shadow Star because this dark purple on purple is just a little too difficult to see. And then here in the case of the Mistake of Creation, this is just a bit too abstract and a bit too colorful for my personal taste. I much prefer the old art. So if you're one of those people who griped about the original game having poor art, this might change your mind. I do think it is cleaner, it's more detailed, and it's significantly better on the whole, especially with the new card layout. There are a few instances where it might not be as good, but again, it's going to be subjective personal preference. Some other things that you'll note with the new edition are that you get this box inside the tin. So you could make this game a bit more portable, kind of like your Magic the Gathering boxes if you ever played that. And when you open up the box, you're going to notice two things. Number one is you have card dividers for each of your decks, which is a nice addition. And the other thing that you will notice is you get a nice bag to hold your honor tokens that's got the Ascension logo on it. So when all is said and done, there's a lot of content in this box and a lot of changes. When you really break it down, you're probably going to pay $30 for the original Chronicles of the Godslayer, $20 for the first expansion, which is Return of the Fallen, and maybe somewhere between $2 to $4 for each of the 4 to 5 12-card promo packs that come with this. So when all is said and done, you're going to pay somewhere between $50 to $70 anyways to get the contents within this box. If you go online, you can probably get the Collector's Edition for roughly $70. I would not pay the full $100 to get this, but at $70, if you like the tin, if you like the new board, if you like the bag, the new art, the foil on the cards, the new layout, so on and so forth, I definitely think this is going to be worth your money. And it could be something that not only fans of the series go ahead and get, but also people who are just now being introduced to Ascension, because that first expansion, I'm here to tell you, is phenomenal and really makes the game complete. So, as far as my opinions of Ascension go, as you can probably tell, I really enjoy the game, and I enjoy it for several different reasons. The first of which is, since this deck constantly puts out new cards, it's a very tactical, opportunistic feel that you get, whereas a lot of games like Dominion, Puzzle Strike, other deck builders, you put out 10 cards, within the first couple minutes, you know your grand overarching strategy. In the next 30 to 45 minutes, it's just executing that strategy. Whereas I find this a bit more interesting because I'm going to go through a lot of different cards. In a 2 or 3 player game, you're going to see nearly this entire deck. And in my personal opinion, I like seeing all those cards. I like having a strategy that's constantly in flux. And that's personally nice for me because I'm also being able to play a lot of cards that combo very well together. Also, since you only have one deck over here, your setup and teardown times are very, very quick. And this game in specific is extraordinarily easy to teach and quick to play. You can probably hammer out a 2-player game in somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes, explanation included. Now, one interesting thing about Ascension is that I find it relaxing to play. There is a decent amount of interaction between players in the sense that you can deny players cards from the center row by getting them yourself or possibly discarding them. You can also interact with their cards by stealing their cards or killing their constructs. But on the whole, there's really not a ton of take that in this game. So for me, it's a great relaxing game and a great entry way into deck building games for players. There's a phenomenal app out for this game that's on both Android and iOS that I think you pay about $2.99 for. So if you're on the fence, definitely give that a shot. And then finally, and I know this is polarizing, but I really think that there is a very unique theme here. And while that theme doesn't really shine through with the gameplay mechanics, the art on each of the cards definitely gives it a differentiation over other games that I find unique, fun, and interesting. So anyways, hopefully this gives you a better, more educated decision on whether or not the Collector's Edition or really even Ascension as a whole is right for you. And if you have any additional questions, let me know in the comments below. Thanks.